Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, June 17th, around noontime Mountain Time 2022. The models are in, and the monsoon begins today. Hey. And will continue for the rest of monsoon season. Now, good news for Southern Cali here. Take a look. They get into the action around June 25th, and much needed moisture coming to Southern California that hasn't seen any type of precipitation for quite some time. Also, have you heard? China may have found aliens, or maybe not. But the big story, yesterday, crazy large hail fell in western New York and other areas. Keep calm. Put your helmets on. It's boom time. Yes, it's true. Major storms swept through western New York yesterday along with some rain and thunderstorms, and there was some sizable hail crashing down to earth. Take a look at this hail that fell in Victory, Cuyahoga County during the storms. And there's more hailstorms and heavy downpours moving through the valley of Ohio, Hartford, Ohio. Strong storms move through the valley Wednesday afternoon. And take a look at more hail. Holy macaroni. And that's not the only thing. The giant hailstorm that just happened 72 hours ago in Nebraska, there are pictures coming in and they do not look good. Crops were hammered. In fact, literally shredded. Take a look at that. Oh my. The worst is over, but meteorologists say after Montreal was pounded by rain and hail, and according to the article, 6.8 centimeters of hail. Holy hail. Right there. Take a look at that. So we've got hail everywhere. And just a little bright note, just down the road from here in Cortez, a century plant bloomed in a guy's front yard, and it made the headlines. Take a look at that. It's a type of agave, which blooms every 10 to 30 or 50 years. And once it blooms, the plant dies, and little babies will pop up around the base. So that's pretty spectacular. But what's not spectacular is some damage to Montana and Wyoming's agriculture amid the flooding. You might have heard about Yellowstone closing. We reported on it. Well, most of the farming is done along rivers in those regions, including the Yellowstone River. And as you can imagine, it has disrupted 95% of the wheat. Yellowstone flood damage takes a toll on farmers. Now, it'll take a while for the tourism industry to bounce back. In fact, it probably won't bounce back until next year. But farmers say it could take years for the soil and land to return to normal. So, bad news in those regions. Now, here's some interesting factoids from Paul Smith Photography. Took a picture. Remember the Kansas storm that killed all the cattle? Maybe it was electricity, not heat. These are coming from the storm. And this is, again, more sprites. This is ionospheric lightning. Instead of ground lightning, this is sky to ionosphere lightning. So the Schumann resonance, when this is occurring, spiked because the Schumann resonance is a measure of ionospheric lightning or sprites. But more and more, becoming more and more common down in Kansas of all places. He captured the expansion of the trailing jet. Absolutely fantastic. And you can see he's pretty good at catching sprites. So, and that's the sprite from Kansas during the storm. Sign of the times. Heat continues in the heartland and south. Critical fire weather conditions in the Great Basin. Very hot temperatures have prompted heat advisories and excessive heat warnings for much of the central and U.S. Daytime highs in some areas will be as much as 30 degrees above normal, especially in the northern and central plains. Dry and gusty weather will result in critical fire weather conditions in much of the Great Basin. And elsewhere, severe thunderstorms are possible in the southeast. Like a beast. We're looking forward to it. Now, the forecast moving forward with the monsoon is going to be well below average temperatures. High temperatures tomorrow here, after we've been in the 90s, is predicted to be 69 degrees. So we could be seeing some record lows during the monsoon in the west, which is good news. And let's walk through that monsoon. You can see here it's going to be beginning today and tomorrow. Thunderstorms here Saturday through Sunday, and then through your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ransom even may pick up a little rain there. And the monsoon just continues. And here we have a tropical storm that may be happening at the end of the month here, late in the models. Now let's see what Cap Alon has to say in the last 2 days. Sri Lanka's public sector workers are giving Fridays off now to grow food. Another sign of the times. Pakistanis are told to drink less tea to fight the economic crisis. Crazy. And Iran turns to French barley after Germany and Russia and Kazakhstan fail to deliver. And Lima, Peru's coldest night since 1996. As South Africa shivers, blackouts in Pakistan as China power plants go unpaid. And the North American oat shortage. Plus, the U.S. Corn Belt already suffering from late planting. And there are some spectacular numbers coming out from Greenland. Take a look at the ice building during the melt season. I'm sure this is going to get some people's panties in a bunch if they watch this data. My, oh my. Do we see it? I'll see that. In fact, there was record ice building during the melt season just a few days ago. Ho ho. I wonder how the polar bears are faring. Well, polar bear populations, in fact, have been discovered that can survive without any ice. And the whole polar bear scare is nonsense. That was all documented by Dr. Crawford, who showed that the polar bears, in fact, have the largest population ever recorded in human history since they were first discovered. Now, there's a new group that has adapted to hunting without sea ice. And these polar bears were found thriving despite the lack of sea ice. And it now offers hope that they'll stop lying about polar bears. And we'll leave you the paper. A new polar bear population. All linked below. Now, China detects possible extraterrestrial civilization. State media reports. They report it in China, and here's the paper, which I can't read. It's fantastic. The only problem is it's 100% not true. Now, researchers from Beijing Normal University, I think this has to do with a translation error, because a lot of this has been scrubbed from China. Researchers from the Beijing Normal University published their findings in a report Tuesday, which was probably misinterpreted. And according to the report, electromagnetic waves are the most suitable carrier of messages from interstellar communications. Peng Bo, a researcher at the National Astronomical Observatory, said that the signals are likely an alien civilization, but they are currently unable to identify the source of the signal. And then the next sentence, it says the researchers on the team say the possibility of the signal being interference is very high. This is after Peng Bo said that the signals are likely an alien civilization. But researchers on the team say the possibility of the signal being interference is very high. So complete nonsense coming out, I'm sure from many channels, speculating about nothing because they didn't even read the actual account. Now, leaky vaccines enhance the spread of deadlier chicken viruses. And if you want to, you can use this as an analogy for something happening in your own life right now. But Lee and I have been talking about this. Over the past 50 years, Merrick's disease, an illness in fowl, chickens for meat as well as egg layers, has become fouler because they developed a vaccine for it that they inject chickens with. Now, what this vaccine does is it actually sheds Merrick's disease. So there's absolutely no function of the vaccine, period. Read the article. Big shout out to Stein and Nicole sending this over here. Plants can break biochemistry rules and make secret decisions about our future. And it's a very revealing study. It reveals that no matter what you do with the amount of carbon dioxide in the air, plants will regulate it back to where they want it to be. So even if we start scrubbing carbon dioxide, the trees will know this and they'll put more CO2 out into the atmosphere. That's how smart plants are. They've been around hundreds of millions of years longer than humans. Think about it. And if you want to think a little deeper, just launched moments ago, Regenerative Soil Microscopy, the book, the course, and the database. Matt Powers, the permaculture student.com, the most amazing permaculturalist I know. He and I are going to be having an amazing discussion tonight, and we'll post that up later about his Kickstarter that just started moments ago. 16 backers already. We need to get to 25,000. Regenerative soil microscopy is the future, as well as planting a victory garden. Our food is fighting. And that's a boom. To knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Join us tonight for the Matt Powers interview and the new Kickstarter. Thanks to all our one-time donors, our Patreons, and the heroes that shared this video as we are banned from non-subscribed people by the YouTube algorithms. Shadow ban.